All right, and we are live again. I am your host today, Jamil, also known as Dipped in V8 Splash, better known as Dip Gaming, and D.I.P. This is a podcast with some of the coolest people I know. Today, my guest is the awesome, the amazing, the fantastical Morbid Nirvana, also known as Nirvana, or just simply known as Joss. How are you today?
I am wonderful. I am exceptional. I feel so honored to be in this space with the chosen one. This is great. The chosen one, yes. The awesome lighting, the awesome background, the awesome camera. It's an honor, really. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's fine. People like that, apparently.
Yes.
So,
We're just gonna wing it. We'll see where this conversation takes us. And like I said, we're gonna try to keep the toxicity to a minimum.
Of course.
To an all-time low. So no hard ERs, none of that.
Are you saying that because it's me, or are you just
no? Just generally speaking. No, it's in the fine print. I'll send you the contract later.
Of course. Right.
So yes, Joss, is there anything you would like people who are watching this who may not know you to know? What would you like them to know about you before we even get started?
I am Nirvana. I also go by Joss, which is short for Jocelyn. I met Dip. We can talk about how we met. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, we can do that. Yeah.
I don't remember.
We've always known each other.
Yeah, me and Dip have been friends for like 5 or 6 years now. Me and 5 other people co-founded a space called Black Gamers Revolution. Dip has been a mod for that space for the past few years, and we've fostered a friendship and a toxic dynamic from playing Overwatch together and customs. And since then, as far as I go, I'm not that interesting. This is about dips, okay? Yeah, I play video games. I crack jokes. I like to content create about 6 times every 2 years. And,
wow. Yeah, the schedule it's very consistent.
Exactly. It's consistently inconsistent. And, there's really... You're going to get to know me through the way we talk about these questions. Why would I spoil that for our guests so early?
Right. We won't get too deep. So we're going to start here. And this is a micro podcast. It's not a very long podcast. It's very dipping your toe into the waters of who this person
See what
is.
You did there. Dipping your toe.
And I did that by accident. Double entendre. Don't even ask me how. So, Josh, first question: why are you like this?
I get asked that a lot.
Yeah, this one's just off the cuff. Why are you this way?
I just, luck.
Look, you got to look at the draw. The personality deck just gave you this card, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna play this trap card face down. Like, we're gonna see how this works out. Going back into how we met, we did meet through Black Gamers Revolution, and a lot of the people that I want to talk to on the show, they have some connection to gaming, but I kind of want to skip the gaming aspect of it, because gaming sometimes it's like, okay, what do you like to play? What are your endeavors as far as like streaming is concerned? But there's more to the person behind that, and that's a lot of what I consider the cool parts of the people that I know in this space across social media, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, which is, I want to say, is now defunct. But any of the people that I've met across these, I find just really genuinely interesting people. And that's going to go into my first random question, just to get your wheels turning.
Of course.
Are we there yet? If you could be anywhere tomorrow, like if you could literally wake up tomorrow and be anywhere in life, in the world, in like your hobbies or anything like that, what would you like to be doing starting tomorrow?
You're gonna hate me because the answer for this question is not gonna be what you expect. First and foremost,
that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for.
I'll be in a bed of wealth. I mean, who doesn't want that, right?
Yeah, but that's the obvious answer.
Yes, the obvious answer. The thing about that question is, are we there yet? It implies there's this finite space where there exists where we all want to be, which it's true, but it's also a constantly moving goalpost, right? I'm too competitive with myself to be like, cool, I'm here, I'm stopping. You know what I mean?
Like every day you've met one small goal and you're like, okay, but that's not it. Right. I want to keep going.
For me personally, I don't. It's not feasible. Like, I don't see a spot where, okay, this is it. Some things that I want to work toward. You'll notice about me. but I used to draw a lot when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, and I really kind of want to get back into that. Kind of want to do a little bit of painting. Kind of want to mess around with that. I kind of want to make like this whole little cute, cozy painting corner on Instagram. You know, want to get that started.
That's cool. That's cool. No, I was gonna say, have you thought about like clay work and things like that?
I have.
Like,
I probably would be terrible at it. Probably very bad at it. But like just watching those types of things, that looks so cool. I want to get out of my comfort zone, and I am terrible at sticking to things that I am great at. And if I'm not great at something, not even just good, but if I'm not great at something, I don't want to pick it up.
If you're not knocking it out of the park like day one, day two, you're just like, you know what? What else is there?
Because who likes to look bad in front of company? I don't.
Especially in front of you. That's why you got to practice. Yeah. You got to practice behind the scenes, and the way our adult lives are set up. Sometimes there's not always time to dive really into the things that we love, just because time is so short, and we're either trying to link up with friends or work. There's so many different facets of our lives that get in the way of, I want to say, our passions, but I'll save that for the next question. So as far as like being somewhere tomorrow in any aspect of life, you want to be in a space where you can practice your art.
Practice my art. I want to be in a space where I love content creation, believe it or not, because I'm so, fickle with it. But I love content creation. And I want to be in a space where, this kind of goes back to the conversation we were having about video games being the be-all, end-all for the space that we're in. That's kind of like the focal point. It's what's
brought us all together at this point.
Right. Exactly. So but if we zoom out a little bit, I want it to be beyond that. Streaming is the obvious, content stream. I really like streaming. I do, but I want to do more than that. There's so many.
What direction you want to take that in?
That's the part that's fishy, because I don't really know. Or rather, maybe not focus on streaming just video games, because you can do a lot of things on
so
Twitch.
Streaming, but
I just kind of want to take a step back. I want to zoom out, and I don't want video games to be the priority of what's associated with me, because like you said, there's so much more. Like video games, oh my god, cute, cool, what do you play? What's the conversation after that?
True. And here's my thing with video games, and this is why I've always been really interested in it. Of course, it's the interactivity. You get to play a part in what's happening in this story that someone's crafted over so many months, years. Someone put a lot of work into telling you this story that's not a movie. It's longer than 2 hours, and they've accounted for things that you, a person that they don't know, are gonna do to affect it. So that blows my mind just there. So the video games can sometimes be enough for me, just because we're experiencing this thing together, especially in streaming. It's just stepping right outside of gaming from streaming. Where was I going? I had a thought. But it's like, there's so many hobbies. People do art on stream. People do crafting.
I want to do some cooking streams.
Some cooking streams. What's your specialty?
Chili. And chili, really high calorie, dense food where you season a bunch of things in a layered effect and add anything like that.
There's levels to it.
There's so much you could do. Or even just like this, having these conversations in a public space that can then be dissected and talked about and expounded upon more. Right. And this is, once again, video games are awesome. This is what got us here, but I feel like there are so many people that just stream video games. Y'all don't need me out there.
Everybody has their own unique take on it, though. That's the thing. Like,
they do.
That's why I enjoy the people I enjoy in this space, because anybody can play video game, but when you find somebody that's really interesting and they inject more themselves into it, it's all about you and what you can bring to it. Me, I feel like my prime export is my personality. I'm not doing anything like super special, but I have a mind full of musical references floating around. I have a mind full of just like corny jokes and everything floating around in my you know this. I feel like we're the same in that aspect. We're very unique individuals that make gaming and streaming gaming better than just plain old gameplay.
And that's the goal. That's
Yeah.
why I did it. That's why it brings me such enjoyment. I don't, like the game part of streaming is the second part for me.
Hmm.
Like it's yeah, cool. This thing happened in a video game. You know what this remind me of, y'all? When I
Yeah,
was in
yeah.
sixth grade, XYZ, I used to have this bully and blah blah blah. That's what streaming is for me. Like, it's a way for me to make a connection based off of me, but with this medium that brought us all
Right.
here in the first place.
Right. We've
Sure.
met so many like cool people, just viewers, other content creators, and I feel like we're this big collective now. And it's like
Yeah.
it all started around video game, and then our personalities connected.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
that I do enjoy. Segueing from that into, like you said about your art and everything, I believe my next question was your passion. What would you consider your passion? Like what really gets you going? What's something that at a moment's notice, if you met a new person today, what's something you would want to share with them to say, hey, this is a large part of who I am?
So I have an answer for that too. That's more indirect. And the thing, that's a heavy question. Everybody has this thing where there's like, oh, cooking or art or I love doing this, blah blah blah. The first thing that came to mind, I thought about this, like I really thought about this question a lot in my life, because I always felt kind of like, damn, like what's my the thing? Like everybody
Yeah.
wants a the thing. You're an entertainer. That's you. That's your thing. Like
That's where you would put me is entertainer.
Yes.
And you know what? I wouldn't disagree. I got to reflect on that some more, but go ahead.
Yeah, please, by all means. But it was kind of like, what is my thing? And what really sticks with me when I think about that question is, I love making people laugh, as you can vibe with
Yes,
that, right?
yes, I agree.
Obviously, on a base level, before you add streaming, on a base level, if we met right now, I'm gonna crack a joke. It's second nature. Like, it's not gonna be this, super, like, it's gonna be something dry humor. I'm gonna make you're gonna smile, and I'm gonna disarm you, and I'm gonna feel better about myself. Me doing that.
Very good
day.
word choice. Very good word choice as far as disarming, because yes, that's my way to break into conversations. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you a quick story about
Go
that.
ahead,
I used to work at a casino.
Oh.
I've had some jobs, boy. Let me tell you. I used to work in a casino in the marketing department, so it was like promotions and things like that. We had our team that would go around and set up all the pictures, the different standees with posters and things like that. We would man different areas for giveaways, and we would see tons and tons of people just walk up with tickets, yada yada. So we did all that. There was this one time we were working in the buffet area. So, you go to a casino, sometimes they'll incentivize you by saying, oh, you get a free buffet, you and a friend, if you spend so much money. So we were getting this ready, and I had just started the job. So I was working with this one lady on the team, and I was doing that. We didn't know each other, so I started like cracking jokes and just making general conversation, like commiserating about work, because that's the main thing you do with coworkers. Like, hey, kind of slow, and
this place. Yeah.
this place, am I right? I did that. This lady was not having it. She was like, you know what? We do not have to talk. I don't want to talk to you. Just so stop trying to befriend me. Never in my life have I been kind of like shut down as far as, trying to open somebody up. I could not disarm this lady. It was wild. I've never experienced something like that. And I've turned other people around. Like, there's people who have not liked me, and I killed them with kindness. It's nuts. I've killed so many people with kindness. Yeah. This lady was not having it with me. She did not. Have you ever had a situation where no matter how hard you tried to crack somebody, they just weren't for it? Like, they weren't a jerk, or like overall, like, yo, you guys didn't even know each other, had no prior beef, no nothing. But you reached out to somebody and you're like, I can't figure out why this person doesn't want to just melt for me.
What a good question. I've never been asked that before. And yes, in varying intervals of my life, like back before in high school, I can think of a few instances where, I have a story right now. I was in college, and then there was this black girl playing one of the Kingdom Hearts games on her 3DS. Was a Dream Drop? I don't know.
Yeah, Dream Drop Distance. I remember.
Probably that one. And where I went to college, you didn't see a lot of that. A lot of nerdy people. You definitely didn't see a lot of nerdy black girls. That was kind of understand stuff like that. They're everywhere. But on a day-to-day basis, where I was like, oh, cool, she likes Kingdom Hearts. So I'm thinking, I'm about to be her friend. You know, I'm
He was like, this is easy.
It's easy. This is easy. This is easy. This is easy. She would sit in the library around the same time every day. I felt like I was plotting on her. Like I was.
You did a stakeout on old girl.
I did. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. And it's been like 10 years now, so I don't remember verbatim, but I know that I approached her one day. I was like, oh yeah, which Kingdom Hearts game is that? Since I haven't played that one, but you know, I really liked the one on PlayStation 2 at the time. Whatever,
yeah.
you know. And she looked at me and was like, and then she left. So.
Wait,
yeah.
so you just asked her what game it was, and she just did not respond?
She was kind of like, and then she got up and she left. And I saw her again and kind of wave, and she did not acknowledge me going forward.
Did you ever try to like take a second shot at it? Like, hey, what did I do something wrong?
Okay, it's freaking out. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I think we're freezing a little bit.
Okay. But that's not as serious as your thing, because you got to the point where you were making jokes and stuff, and then you got neglected. I didn't even get to that point.
The conversation never started.
It never started, and that was one of those things where it's like, did I just smile too hard? Do I look creepy? You know, and it's just kind of like, I'm likable. Like, everybody likes me. Like, what is this? You know, like,
you started reflecting very deeply. Like, damn.
And then, like, as I've gotten older too, like, that's like the one that stands out. That's kind of been a thing where, like, I really make an effort to bond with certain people more than others, depending on various things. But like, when I put in that effort, and it's kind of like a wall. It's kind of like, okay,
it stings. It stings.
And then all you can really do is fall back. So what else are you gonna do? You can't force somebody to be your friend.
Did you ever take a second shot at her? Did you ever see her anywhere else and like, hey, like try to start up a different conversation, or just it never worked out ever?
Like, I think in passing, I'd be like, hey, you know, like not as serious, but just a greeting, as in, do you remember me, the one that also likes Kingdom Hearts? Do you remember me?
that weird girl that came up to you out of the blue.
Yeah, I know it was weird, but you know, I'm not being creepy on purpose. You remember me, you know? And she just was not. She just shut it down. She wasn't like, you know, mean. She wasn't very. She just didn't engage. Kind. She didn't engage. It's perfect. She didn't engage. She was not disarmed by anything that I had to offer. She just was not there. You know, who knows? Ouch. Maybe I don't know. But sometimes, you know, you just gotta keep it pushing. And it's somebody that really like puts a lot of passion into that. Obviously, based on the question. Like, it hurts. It's like,
it felt like your passion in that aspect was rejected. It was like, oh, this is what you like to do. Screw that.
Right. I've gotten older now, and obviously everybody's not gonna like you. You don't need to like everybody. Blah blah blah. I don't take it as personal anymore. But back then, you know, younger, nerdier me, I was just kind of like, yeah, you know, I really like Kingdom Hearts too. Can we just talk about it, please? You know, and so it's kind of like it is what it is, really.
Yeah, that stinks.
Any reason for not liking you? It could be because, you know, your hair's sideways. You know,
it could also could be them. It could be something going on with them. Like, who knows what she's going through? What type of just background? It might just be a situation where she's not a very conversational person. Doesn't like strangers. It's like
doesn't like being approached, and that's not bad, because I also don't like being approached most of the time. So you know, so yeah,
it's a sticky situation. But I thought about that, and it's like, that hurts. Like, even now,
yours was worse.
No, that hurt, because I worked with. She got fired later on, so it was like she had other stuff going on. I'm like, if you're in a I want to say not public relations, but something that's marketing, that's out front, it's like, how you don't like talking to people, let alone your coworkers. You gotta you gotta convince your team first before you convince anybody. So it was a stinky situation. I hated it, but I hope she's doing well wherever she is.
There you go. That's
push off. What was I going to say? I had another thought about that. Even like more building on that, even to this day, I've gotten a sense that, okay, you're not going to connect with everybody, no matter how much you offer or bring to a space, no matter how many similarities you have. Like, even now, because right now I've been coming in contact with a lot of different content creators through everything that I've been doing, and it's like, I really want to support this person, and I would like to also gain some support from this person. But it's like, even in this space, you don't connect. There's too many people doing too many different things. And when you get to know somebody, like behind the hobby, behind the streaming, behind the gaming, it's like you find out some things and you're like, oh, you know what? Okay,
Yeah.
this person hasn't made any egregious offenses, but this is probably not the best person for me to connect with. And that's why sometimes when you're in the gaming space, it's tricky. You got to be careful who you connect with, and as much as you want everybody to like you, it's kind of a two-way street. When people like you, it opens you up to people trying to do things with you, and sometimes it doesn't need to go that far. It's rough.
Yeah, that's something that I have dealt with in that same thing, like in this gaming space. You know, people making an effort to show up for certain people, and keep in mind, people aren't obligated to be your friend.
No one's obligated to do anything.
To show you love. People's not. So like, I want to say what I'm about to say and also include that. But you know, I've tried to show up for people and try to connect with people, like repeatedly going in the same spaces, and they just were not having it. It just, I didn't vibe well with their community and what they had going on, and it just wasn't a good fit. And I used to take that kind of thing to heart. Like, people hate talking about being vulnerable, like in these spaces, I think, and like getting their feelings hurt, and this person doesn't like me, that makes me sad.
Not being comfortable in certain spaces.
So like, everybody puts on a tough face, but sometimes when somebody and their friends don't like you, it hurts, and that's okay. You know, like, that's normal.
Would you say you're a person who, when you hang out with people, are you someone who hits different one-on-one?
Yes, but better, not necessarily.
Yeah. For context, when I was in college, I always had a thing where it's like, I didn't have a lot of friends in high school. Like, most of my friends were from church.
Shocking.
Yeah. Most of my friends were from church. Like, my grandfather was the pastor, and everybody knew me from church, and all the young kids. So we had something there, but that was it. And that was mostly like a weekend thing. Not a lot of high school friends, not a lot of grade school friends. I got to college, I started hanging out with everybody. I was in multiple different circles, and I found people that I really enjoyed in all these different circles. So I was the person that would have a get together or have an outing, and I would mush all these groups together. Can you see how? I learned this in college, that it's not a good idea to mush all these different groups of people together.
It's not.
I had like a birthday party. We went to like bowling, and it was like 20 people there, and it's a weird mix when you mix groups. So post college, I realized, hey, I hit different one-on-one. You can build better relationships with people when you stick to one person, you foster that relationship. If other people come into that, it can make it better. It can be great, but it won't always mix. So a lot of times, if you see me like having a good time with somebody, I will kind of try to confine it to that. I don't do large groups as much anymore. I'm a better party attendee than a party host. So if somebody else has a good thing, I can fit into the mix, but I'm bad at creating like something for everybody to come through. So there's different avenues that I like to go about introducing people.
I don't blame you, because that's something I had to learn too. Like when it comes to mixing friend groups, and this is kind of a tangent, like low key, but
I'm glad we're here though.
yeah, exactly. But you know, that also, like, when you are forced to mix friend groups like that, either because you don't know any better, or maybe it's a birthday party or it's a wedding, a place where all your friends are gonna be there.
All your friends from various avenues, like friends from here, friends from there.
Yeah, like, you start to learn also, like, some of these people are really good friends. You know, like, you ever had a friend where they're just super combative, and you're kind of afraid of them meeting some of your other friends? Not because they don't have shared interests, but because you're like, this person doesn't really like a lot of people, so, they don't mean anything by it, but just kind of, like...
I hate being in a position where you have to defend a friend in front of another friend.
Yes, and that's why I don't have friends like that anymore. Used to have a bunch of them, and it's like why do I don't want to put somebody in a situation where they're going to be uncomfortable because this one friend I have is going to be inappropriate or hound them or cross the bound, and
it's like, you might appreciate it, you might understand it, you like contextualize it, but it's like
them for 8 years or something. So and then it's I'd rather just have friends that aren't that way, so that when they are forced to be together, it's not this weird smorgasbord of, dang, you friends with this?
Yeah. Like, that's who you rock with? That's your people's? Who's man's?
That's who you rock with. And like, I feel like a lot of that, it can also be translated into like the gaming spaces and stuff that we're in. You know, everybody talks about clicks, blah 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 blah. Who cares?
Yeah.
But like, it's a similar mentality, I feel like, because like who you hang around with is a big reflection of you.
Yes.
And that is and that goes back to what we're talking about. That is a big indicator of like whether I'm going to make the effort to connect with you or show up for you. Because if you got everybody from around the way who not cool, it's like, I'm good. You know, like,
right.
You know what I mean? You know, so it's.
Do you think that has anything to do with just us being like a particular age? Like when you're younger, you're either more outgoing or your eyes are so innocent, and then as you grow older, you realize how some people are, and you're like, okay, you know what? Friend groups just generally get smaller as you get older.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think that age is a lot in that. Age and experience maybe together.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, it's something that I'm just now learning. I'll be 30 in a few months.
Oh, congrats. You made it.
Thanks. I'm just now learning that, you know, friend groups getting smaller doesn't have to be this like bad thing that people kind of make it out to be. You know, everybody wants more friends. You're used to being in spaces where it's easy to have friends, like you said, whether you're in school, whether you're in church, whether you're in college, you know, whether you're at work. You know, you get older and you have less and less shared spaces, so you're gonna have less friends. People are gonna grow apart. People are gonna have different like political views than you. People are gonna have kids. You don't. Vice versa. They're not gonna have the time for you. So that's a natural, inevitable thing. But I also feel like it gives you the chance to like start new. So many of these friends that you make when you're younger are kind of just there. You wouldn't.
Like they're friends out of convenience. They were there.
Convenience, because you didn't know how to make friends. They were there. Y'all both like, I don't know, Teen Titans, and that's it. And it's like cool, like that's
bonded, and it's just like you were with this person forever now.
Right, and it's been keeping you going this whole time. You know, you don't pick your friends as a kid, not really. You know,
yeah, not really.
You don't pick
it's like anybody who's not trying to, you know, cause physical harm to you immediately.
Right,
a friend.
That's enough. Yeah, that's enough. But you know, going into your 30s or even your late 20s or whatever age, I think it's a fresh start to be able to be like, you know what, okay, I've had friends that did XYZ, I didn't really like that, so going forward, same way you would with somebody you like trying to date. You know, I've had exes that did this, that, and the third. I don't want to deal with that no more. You know, friendships can be the exact same thing. And this is the first time in my life where I really like picked my friends and did it in a smart way. Because once again, when I first came to this gaming community, I was trying to be friends with everybody, because it's like, oh, all these black nerds together, you know, that can't be a bad thing. Because why I mean, you know, who really thinks about it being a bad thing? So I'm like, oh cool, I want to be your friend, I want to be your friend, I want to be your friend, I want to be your friend. You have things like, oh, a lot of y'all are creeps, or you know, and you don't know, and then it's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna take my friendship card back.
That's like, kind of what I was saying. It's like you wanna get yourself out there, you want to connect, you want to network, but and then you realize, hey, I've made an impression on this person, they like me, and now I know some things about them and I don't like them. And I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna like distance myself. I've had to like mute some people. It's such a weird
thing. You don't want to be a jerk. It's a weird line to walk and that's kind of your punishment for being naive about it in the first place, because you shouldn't be trying to befriend everybody in the first place.
Right.
You shouldn't.
Right.
You shouldn't. I get the excitement of wanting to. You're in a new space. People are bonding with you over these things that you've loved since you were a kid. Yeah. However, video game lovers are still bad people too, just like the rest of the world.
Bad people enjoy a lot of different things. Like to flip it, it's just like, bad people enjoy some of the same stuff you do. You just don't know it right away.
And even if they're not quote unquote bad, people that aren't compatible with you will also enjoy this thing. I don't want to paint somebody that's not for you as a villain, but people that just aren't compatible.
No, they be villains. They do be villains.
I agree.
They do be.
I was trying to be nice. There are real villains out there too, folks. Villains do be playing video games, but you know, even the ones that aren't villains, sometimes, you know, I've just learned to vet people more thoroughly.
Yes.
You know, something that I hate that I've taken so long to learn, but you know, it's better late than never, to actually vet people. And somebody that is just quote unquote nice, that's not enough to foster a friendship off of. Right. Just because they're a nice person, they might be nice to you, but overall they might not be a nice person. And it depends on the level, how much of that you're willing to tolerate.
Like some people enjoy the person that's like, oh, edgy, or I keep it real, or 100. Like I can't stand that. Like have some type of you have to be a warm person. You have to realize that yes, you can be honest, but please do not be out here.
You don't have to be brutal about it. People
you don't have to be brutal.
Honest.
Yeah,
you don't have to be brutal. You're choosing to be brutal because that's who you are, and you like to be mean, and that's okay. Stand in that. Tell me so I don't talk to you. If you say up front, I like being a brutal like animal. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
And that person may never be brutal to you, but you're like, you know what?
Yeah, that's how
we can keep this right here. I don't want to end up in any awkward situations with you.
Right, because they're not brutal to their friends, but they're just mean to everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's been weird, like being a friend of a person that's just kind of mean, because it's like
you always feel like you have to defend them. It's like they have a good heart. Do they? Do they actually have a good heart? I'm not convinced.
Yeah, and it's kind of like how people treat other people aside from you is also just very important, and I think it's indicative of how they operate as a person on a fundamental level too. Yes. And I feel like it shouldn't be ignored just because they're nice to you now, but look at how they treat other people that also run in this circle.
That reminds me of the thing where it's like, oh, like it was like a dating conversation, and the girl was like, depending on how you tip and treat the waiter or the waitress, that speaks a lot about how they're going to treat you. It's like, okay, this person you don't know that can barely do anything for you outside of this instance, how are you going to treat them? How are you going to affect their life today? Do you want to be connected to somebody who's going to disregard people like that?
Right. I agree. Yeah. And even on a smaller scale, do they put their shopping cart back where it's supposed to go? I have not always done that.
Guilty.
I admit that when I was growing up. But I'm better about it now. I don't litter. I don't just throw trash in the parking lot. Just small things like that.
Small considerations that pile up.
Yeah, that pile up because everybody's gonna kind of something. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, if you do this, you're a bad person. But it's really like one of those things where you learn and you see, like you know what to look for as far as you do this, that, and that. And you're mean? Yeah, no,
don't be mean on top of a couple of ambiguous character traits. I won't say flaws. Exactly. Like people have there's a batch of attributes. It's almost like a game. It's like you character build, or what are your stats? This, and then you go to the right, you align with the evil people in the game.
Exactly.
No. Nah. It wouldn't be so bad over here, but over here it's all different. Oh, that was definitely a tangent. Do I have another question for you? Yes, I do have another question. All that aside, we talked about connections and meeting people and trying to, grow like a friend group. Would you consider yourself popular?
I would, and
what does that mean per se to you?
Right, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to get into. I would consider myself popular, and somebody might say, "Girl, bye. Nobody cares about you." That's fine. In my head, I'm popular, but as you can understand, being popular, the very definition of being popular, as far as I'm concerned, is being well liked. Being well liked, being talked about.
Yeah, and I did pull up the definition. You are pretty spot on with it.
Okay, please. Okay, yeah.
Where is it? Boom, boom, boom. Not to clip it. No. Yes. So popularity. Yep. A state or condition of being liked, admired, and supported by many, and that is Oxford's definition.
Okay.
Look at me preparing things for the question.
Yeah, being funny gets you a very long way in life, right? And I think that I think I'm funny.
Yeah, no, I definitely think you're funny. That reminds me of like my wife. She's funny, and some people are funny even when they don't intend to be.
Yeah.
Those are the people who are hilarious. I love that about her. And people when they're just genuinely funny, not trying to tell jokes, it's just something about their being and the things they do naturally.
Yeah.
Is hilarious. Yeah. It's just like, why did you do that? But that's you. That's part of you.
Yeah, and I think that like when you love to mentally disarm people, to make people feel relaxed around you, to get them to open up, to get them overall, I don't do it just to be liked. Being liked is a bonus, Everybody likes to be liked. When you do that naturally. Unless you do something else that's just wild, it's hard for people like you. You know, like, of course you're gonna, like disagree about something that, well, blah, blah, blah. But just initially, I do all the things that I would want done to me when I meet somebody based off of, the things that I like. That's how I always view how I operate, like it's being the perfect girlfriend, being the perfect friend, being the perfect daughter, sister,
as good as can be. Perfect is like a hard bar to like.
Exactly. As good as can be. That's much better. Exactly. But I feel like when you strive to be the best version of yourself, especially to other people, it's hard to not be liked. I feel like I click well with people. Like, even if I'm like in a grocery store and somebody has a, I don't know, a bleach keychain or something, I'm like, yo, that's a like sick keychain,
You'll strike up a conversation, yeah.
Like, Etsy has some really cool keychains, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, friend, yeah, I don't really use Etsy. Well, you really should. That's just me. Etsy doesn't pay me. I like Etsy a lot, but like, it's just easy for me to connect with people even without really thinking about it or without trying. So when I actually am thinking about it and I actually am trying, like, I'm mostly successful, and I think that people gravitate to me based on that. I hope this doesn't sound like narcissistic or anything.
No. Like, I get it.
Yeah, like, truthfully, like, I do think that people generally and genuinely like me. Obviously, I vibe. That southern accent came out, baby.
Goodness gracious. That joint hit hard. Well, I do declare I do vibe with people below the Mason Dixon.
Oh my goodness, I vibe. Well.
Now let it go.
I vibe that most of people that are similar to me. So like my best friends are goofy, funny. Like my boyfriend is goofy, funny. People I'm around are of similar, I guess, mentality to me.
Yes.
So obviously I'm not popular with everybody. Who is?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that, like, in regards to like the whole like click thing. I didn't want to get too deep into that whole click thing, but there's certain areas or certain spaces that you are going to, for lack of a better term, hit different. Like, you are going to be popular in certain spaces with certain groups of people, and that you should be aware of that hey, these people and the things they're into and things like that, I will go off over here. Like, I am a hit in this space, but you have to also be aware that over here you're not gonna have the same effect, and you shouldn't force yourself to conform to that space. It's a conformity thing. It's knowing your strengths, knowing you wouldn't apply for a job that you didn't feel you were suited for. If you didn't have the skills for it, if you didn't have the personality for it, if you don't want to work in customer service, you're not going to apply for a customer service job. Right. So in regards to that whole click conversation, I'm not going to go over here and try to gel with a group of people that I know it's not going to be easy or even like enjoyable for me or for them. Like why put us both through it? You know what I mean?
Not everybody is going to like you or mesh well with you or, accept you easily into what they already have going on.
And that's okay. Yeah, and that's okay.
Okay. That doesn't mean you're not a good person or you're not likable or there's something wrong with you. The only problem that happens is when you start to feel a way about that and internalize it and think that they're being a whole different way for not accepting you. And that's when things fall apart.
I was talking to
everybody.
I was talking to somebody else about it. It's like, hey, if they are not accepting you the way you want to be accepted, that's not a group of people you want to be involved in. Like, if they're treating you a certain way that you don't like, that's them being jerks. Yeah. Like, do you really want to be a part of that?
Right. Do you really want to keep fighting to be in that? Some people just don't want new members in their group or new friends or new anything, and that's their prerogative. They're not wrong for that either, but go where you're wanted, go where you fit in, go where you're desired, go where you feel fed, go where you get your needs met. Don't go over here and go starve. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree. I think that as far as the age thing and experience thing you were talking about before, I think that that kind of is like learning that you
only have so much energy. You only have so much energy. You don't want to waste it. So it's sometimes debatable, but as you get older, you have less energy to give to everybody.
I feel that right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you have things going on. You have life, love, endeavors, jobs, and at the end of the day, you only got enough energy to like probably hang out with 2 people.
Yeah, you got 4 hours left of your whole day before you got to go back to sleep and do this the exact same thing over
and
again.
you probably got to go to bed early. You haven't eaten. It's just like, dog, you want to go to Chili's? What you want to do?
Right, exactly. And like that's okay. As long as you understand everybody is busy and feel confident in yourself and what you bring to the table, platonically, romantically, whatever, people are going to gravitate towards you. You know, like, it's okay. People being sure of yourself will get you a lot of friends. Confidence is attractive. Like, not even in a romantic thing, but just, you know, oh yeah, she seems like, you know, she knows what she's talking about. You seem like you're a very confident person.
Yes. Oh, you talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Nah.
See, some people are here. I can tell that you're not here. You're at least here.
Yeah, I'm at least there. Yeah, that looks good.
Me too. Like, I pretend to be confident. You know,
yeah, no, I can. Oh my god, I'm a very shy person. I do not really enjoy being on camera. I prefer being behind the camera. But as long as you've known me, I've been in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And it's weird, and it's like same thing with you. Like, I know you through your streams. I know you through your online presence, and that's a big part of who people are. And that's a big part of why people gravitate to, not me specifically or you specifically, but people like us. People who like people in this space.
And that's why you and I mesh so well together.
Yes,
you and I won't mesh well with everybody, but you and I and people like us will always mesh super well together because we can feed off each other's energy.
Yeah.
You know, like, we can feed each other, and it's fine. It's just, you become entitled when you expect to get this through everybody, and then you don't, because not
everybody doesn't have it to give.
Yeah, they don't. Everybody. We need to put that on a plaque. Everybody doesn't have it to give. Everybody doesn't have it to give. That's
trademark.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah, you did.
I'm gonna put it on a shirt. And I need you to buy one. I need you to buy the entire stock.
It's a give. We're gonna remember that. Okay.
I'll put it in the sticky note too. Yeah.
That's the phrase. Everybody doesn't have it to give, and that's valuable. It just knowing that. Like, I used to take everything so personally all the time. Like,
I still struggle with it. I honestly still struggle.
Me too. I've come a long way, but if you like, it's insane. And sometimes they're not even thinking about you. They got their own life going on. It's nothing like that. You just take your own ego out of the situation for a second and realize that they are doing things beyond you and outside of you. They're not even thinking about you to even be upset with you or to not like you, and you will be so much happier that way. Like,
and that's the ultimate goal, is chasing your own happiness, not other people's happiness. Yeah, so
exactly.
That's good. One more thing on the popularity thing. Who would you say is your biggest fan? There's probably only like a handful of right answers.
Firstly, I don't think I have any fans.
No, you have fans. You have fans. I was about to say, just say Archie. Just say Archie.
Oh, Archie. Okay, Archie.
I was trying to give you room to answer. I'm like, who else? Like family, friends. Who is somebody who has just like been all for all of your endeavors, just as long as you know.
He has called himself my fan. You know what? That's fair. I just, like, when I hear the word fan, I don't know. My brain thinks of like Beyonce and fans.
No. I'm sure you are definitely his Beyonce. Yep.
That's why I'm kind of like, I don't know. I have people that enjoy my content or enjoy me.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Like, I guess, like, is that a real answer? That seems kind of cheesy. Of course, it's Archie.
It's a cheesy one. If you have a secondary answer, like who would you say has been, like I said, again, all for all of your endeavors, whether it's art, whether it's content creation, pursuing different jobs, just pursuing just different life changes.
It's not even one person. I would say my whole friend group.
Your whole friend group.
So the people that you see that are in my Discord, and my family, of course.
Yeah, like them too. The people that blood related.
Yeah, like the ones I came out of. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, but yeah, like they're all, and RG is included in that. I feel like these people that bully me to stream, at least
Yes.
thrice a month and to produce more content. And oh my God, you're so funny and blah, 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 blah. These people, I feel like they're my biggest friends and that word. And
they are your cheer group. They cheer you on.
Yep,
they are your cheerleaders.
I'll call them that. That feels more natural. Streaming and me have like a love-hate relationship, and you know.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
And I say that with as much sass as possible. I'm aware.
Being it's just, I love streaming. I love entertaining people. I love putting on a game that I love and making jokes about it, and making jokes about lasagna and pizza rolls and whatever.
Jokes about lasagna? Can we stop there for a second? Okay. What jokes about lasagna are there? You're just gonna gloss over the fact that you like jokes about lasagna.
Lasagna is ugly as hell. It tastes delicious. Lasagna
ugly?
Is an ugly food. Lasagna is ugly.
I'm not gonna fight you because like some of the worst looking foods are the best.
They are.
Have you ever had oxtails?
Oxtail's so good. I had it for the first time when I went to New York to visit art.
So you just had it recently?
Yes, it's so good.
I have still not had oxtails yet.
Damn it.
I still haven't. And I love food. I love food.
They fall off the bone, dude.
But it's not a pretty meal. Like in the box or whatever they give it to you, it doesn't. I've seen pictures. It doesn't look.
No, but nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But yeah, it's kind of like, you know, whatever that we talk about. We talk like I would tell stories in my stream about what the heck. It's never planned. I don't really know. Like if somebody were to say, "What do you do in your stream?" I can't really tell you. I just a little bit of everything.
I would say you have a very organized train of thought. Like being in your streams, you have gone off on a tangent. That tangent has continued to go with an unstoppable force. I'm like, well, how did we get here? What is happening? Should I even be here?
That's exactly how I want everybody to feel. Thank you. But what comes with that is the part that I struggle with is the consistency, like the sets. So the things you need to grow your brand and yourself, a consistent schedule, at least 3 days a week,
right?
Same time frame.
That's what I'm trying to do. Like I try to do that. When it comes to like artistic stuff, like things that you create, it's hard to schedule it. So when people take breaks or when people have like blocks and things like that, I get it because it's like when I'm editing or things like that, I have a hard time thinking of ideas to put into a video, and it gets off delayed. Like things hit.
Though. You do it exceptionally. Sorry.
Things hit me like a bolt of lightning, and it's like if I don't act on it right then, another idea is hitting me for something else, and now I'm like drowning in ideas and I get nothing done. I don't know what you call that.
Yeah, but a lot of people have that, and I have that too. Where I've commissioned for all these emotes that I haven't even streamed since I've gotten and paid for. I have so many ideas about games I'm gonna play and stories I'm gonna tell about the games that I'm gonna play. And hey, what if I did a just chatting stream, or like what if I instead talked about something kind of like this and had a guest every week, and it's like, oh, there's so many ideas. Oh, I'm so tired.
So many things in the chamber. You just gotta let it go. That's why I was like, when it came to this pod, I'm like, I just have to start and go because I've been planning on doing this. I've been planning on starting this since last summer.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, I wrote all these questions out. I have like questions written for like 5 guests after this, and like I know who they are. I know who I want to talk to, and I didn't start recording anything until last week. So it's like you have to just go.
Like, okay, so this is obviously the Home Depot podcast, but I'm gonna ask you a question, podcast host. What inspired you to finally start this? Why now?
I don't know. Maybe I'm hitting like a block in like the gaming streaming. Like I don't know. Like I'm doing things, and some would say that it's taking off and it's doing better and better, but I feel like there's something else that I could be doing, and I don't want to do what everybody else is doing, but I want to bring my unique spin to it, which is all creative things. Like there's nothing new under the sun. What can you bring to something to at least in yourself feel comfortable? Like, hey, this is something that I'm proud of. This is something that is like it's a passion project. It's something that I wanted to do. I know so many cool people. My lot in life is to uplift others, and I intend to uplift a lot, if at all possible. Yeah. So the people I know, like the coolest people I know, that's why you're here. You are one of the coolest people I know, and I really want to showcase all those people and whatever I can to help grow their platform. So this is the shameless plug portion of the pod. Yes, Josh, you're going to be streaming today, starting when? Make sure y'all turn your notifications on. That's is it _ Nirvana or Nirvana _?
On Twitter,
there's an underscore in there.
No,
there's no underscore.
That's on Twitter. On Twitter, it's an underscore with an H at the end. On Twitch, it's just Nirvana with an H at the end.
All right, so you see the name, you see the face. Give Nirvana a follow. The streams will be coming back. Any particular start date, debut?
Yo, do you see how he just like seamlessly started to pressure me? It's
on the spot. On the spot. Where's my Nerf gun? When are you streaming? Now. Immediately.
I will stream for sure, since it's going to be recorded. I will stream for sure. How about let's go with sometime in the month of March.
In the month of March. That's a very wide release window, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Okay. For sure. That way I have a lot of time.
Yes, to prepare. Anything else you want to tell anyone who might see this? Any remaining tidbits about yourself?
I have some remaining tidbits about Dipped. Thank you for asking, Dip. Yes. I have watched Dipped grow the past few years and flourish seamlessly. It's been a pleasure to watch you spread your wings, and even from when we used to do our Smash Nights co-hosts, that feels like that was like 8 years ago. And it was
wasn't
like
that long? Goodness.
It was like 2. Yeah, it was like 2. It hasn't been a long time, but yeah, like you really come into your own, like between your editing and doing this and building connections, and everybody on Twitch and Twitter and this space that we have seems to know who a Dipped and VA Splash is at this point, you know. And it's great that I can call you my friend, you know. And
thank you so much.
You know, I tried. I'm super honored to be your first guest at this podcast, and I can't wait to see it grow. And I'm gonna steal the show, and I'm gonna be back. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's possible you may see Josh again.
I'm gonna come back. It's not. No, it's going to be. Yeah, I'm gonna be back. It's fine.
You're in my ear. You smell like barbecue. Back up.
But yeah, this was like super fun, and
thank you so much for doing this and taking out the time on this wonderfully sunny Sunday. Like, I don't know, like you see all this light.
Yeah, same over here. I don't know what's going on. I hate it.
But Josh, thank you so much again. This has been an awesome talk. I think this ran an hour and it wasn't supposed to. Remember I said like 15 to 30 minutes, and here we are.
You did. Mm-hmm.
But it's been a good conversation. Again, remember, make sure you guys follow Nirvana and be on the lookout for the next episode. Have a good day.